On behalf of the Trenton Board of Education, I welcome you to our TV radio broadcast on Trenton Talks. Our host, Gerald Trueheart, will be with us momentarily. We want to thank our sponsors from WIMG 1300 AM and WPHY, Verizon Channel 28. My name is Denise Crease. I am Trenton Public Schools Parent Coordinator and Homeless Liaison. We also want to thank our other board members that participate on our Community and Family Engagement Committee, which is President Addie Daniels-Lane, and also our committee members, Denise Johnson, Yolanda Marrero Lopez, and Teron Tice. And as I mentioned before, Mr. Gerald Trueheart, which will be joining us shortly. He's the chair of the Board of Family and Community Engagement and of the Policy Committee. We also want to thank Mr. Earl, our superintendent, for his leadership, his support, his commitment to our school community. And I would like to introduce you to members of our school leadership team. Mr. Ortiz, which is our assistant superintendent of school support. He's had so many different roles in our district. And also Nurse Micah Freeman. She is our supervisor of nursing and 504 coordinator. And we're just so excited to have this conversation with you today, community, parents, and other audience members. We have some important health updates and information and other program highlights that we want to share from our health and health support service department. And I would like to turn it over to Miss Micah Freeman. Welcome, welcome. Don't forget to unmute.
Yep, thank you, Denise Crease. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Micah Freeman. I'm the supervisor of nurses for Trenton Public Schools. I am super excited. I'm actually here at Rivera Middle School. So I'm masked because I am in the presence of others. We have been partnering with the Trenton Health Team, Henry J. Austin, and us to provide COVID vaccines. The COVID vaccines is now available for 5-year-olds and up. So if you kindergartners, first, second, third, all the way to 12th grade can get their Pfizer shot, their COVID shot. And also for the school community. Right now, we have at least 30 people here waiting to start to be seen. We are, you do not need, it's free. You do not need any, other than being a Trenton resident. It's for the community, Mercer County resident, statewide resident. Anyone can come. Our school employees are welcome to come. Our families are welcome to come. Again, we are excited that we're able to provide this service. So today it's at Rivera, on Tuesdays it's at Rivera. On Wednesday, which is tomorrow, it will be at Trenton High on main campus on 400 Chambers Street. From 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. We want to make sure that we are catering to our community, offering it in the evening hours so our parents and families, students can come and participate. This is a perfect opportunity to get vaccinated. It's a perfect opportunity that we have for our school district, school community to get vaccinated and be safe during this time. So I'm excited.
Awesome. So you said it was free, and can you repeat what ages? What's the age range again?
So as you know, the Pfizer is the one that is for the children. So it's 5 years old and up. So anyone that's in our kindergartners, if you are a preschooler and you just turned 5 years old, you are able to get the vaccine. Again, it's Monday at Kilmer School. Tuesday, it's here at Rivera. And Wednesday, it's at Trenton High. Again, the hours are from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. All you have to do is show up. Show up, you'll get a card. We're also providing
Micah,
a booster shot. You want to get your shot?
Good. So parents can get a booster shot if they need the booster shot? Any one of the,
Yes.
Is it just Pfizer? Could they get Moderna as well?
Great question. So the children are able to get the Pfizer, but any adult, you can get your Moderna, you can get your Pfizer, or you can get the one shot, which is the J&J. All three vaccines are available here. So yes, you can get anyone that got their first, second, they can come and get their booster shot here as well.
So Micah, is this the last week for this, or are you extending this to next week as well? Or is
So this isn't the last week. We actually started October 18th up until the end of this month, or the end of our time, December 22nd, which will be at Trenton High. And then we'll take our Christmas break. But for right now, it's the next 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks, we will have it Monday at Kilmer, Tuesday at Rivera, Wednesday at Trenton High from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
that's I think it's incredible opportunity for our parents in our community. Why is this important? Why should they get the shot now, right now, since we're going to go on break? From your experience with your nurses in your schools, what can you tell us about the importance of taking the shot now?
That is a great question. Unfortunately, the COVID virus has increased over the last few weeks. We've seen an increase in our school community. Not too much, but we have seen an increase. And we are working with the health department. But the reason you should get vaccinated is, one, you'll be protected. If you develop COVID, it will be less severe, right? From you and your family. Secondly, if you are considered a close contact with someone who has the positive virus and you become a close contact, you don't need to quarantine unless you have symptoms if you're vaccinated. That's from the CDC. You do not have to quarantine if you become a close contact with someone who has the virus. So that means you don't need to stay home for 10 days. You don't need to quarantine. You don't need to be away from your loved ones. So we want to make sure we give everyone the opportunity to get vaccinated so you're not away from your loved ones. Get vaccinated so you are practicing health and wellness, and that you are practicing safe COVID practices.
You mentioned, Micah, that you're practicing safe COVID practices. What are some of the things that parents can do at home with their children to stay safe? What are some of the simple things that we feel and that the medical community is saying you should do on a regular basis? You want to share what parents can do at home to keep themselves and their students safe?
That is an awesome question. So the first thing you can do to stay safe, to stay yourself and others, if you do have COVID symptoms, sore throat, fever, cough, body ache, any type of flu-like symptoms, you want to get checked. You want to get COVID tested. You also want to make sure that you don't go to school or you don't go to work, because you want to prevent the spread. We want to continue to wear our mask when we're out in public. We want to, if you are for the holidays hosting a party or hosting gatherings and you are symptomatic, you don't want to host those gatherings. You don't want to host a family function. You just need to, every day before you send your child to school, even before you go to work, you want to monitor yourself. Am I feeling sick today? Do I have a fever? And if you do, go get tested. So those are some of the things you should do. You should monitor yourself. You should get vaccinated. Stay home if you're not feeling good.
Do we have facilities for our parents in our community to get tested? Or
yes,
they can go to their own doctors, but sometimes our families may not have insurance and it might be a little complicated for them So getting tested, getting the vaccine is one thing that we're doing now, but what about getting tested?
That's a great question. So we do have places in the community where you can go get tested. Like you said, you can go to any CVS, Rite Aid, pharmacy. There's home tests that you can get from those. Those are a little costly. There's home tests. However, we do partner with the medical home pharmacy. Now with the medical home pharmacy on 828 North Olden Avenue, you should have your insurance card. There is a fee. If you don't have an insurance card, there is a fee. You also have the Henry J. Austin Health Center, where you don't have to have insurance. You do have to make an appointment and you have to be seen to get tested. So with that, I also would suggest city Trenton residents contact your city health office to get more information, right? So you can go on the city health webpage. You can and you will get the contact information from them.
Thank you, Micah.
Thank you,
Good
Micah. And
information
that's
to have.
information I could share also on to the Facebook chat site. I will be on the lookout to see if there's any questions from our audience, and I will share that with you, Micah. And once I find that link for the city's website, and also the school district has a COVID-19 site. Did you want to talk a little bit about that, Micah?
Yep. So if you go onto our website, we just created it this about a month or two ago, a COVID dashboard. So every school, every day, we are monitoring who has COVID, who's COVID positive. Luckily, we have been in a very low COVID numbers. So we're not, we don't have to close our schools. The increasing of sanitizing has been conducted, and even still. But you can go on our school website. There's a COVID dashboard. It has the data of who's positive. It's a whole bunch of resources on that COVID website. It has a Trenton Health Team. It has other Trenton COVID vaccination sites. It has COVID testing sites. Other resources in the community that where you can go. And it's just information. It's good to have information that you're able to rely on. It's reliable information. So we welcome you to join and visit that website. Denise, you'll put that information up there. Great. Yep.
Yes,
We often get calls, or parents ask about how are we keeping their children safe at the schools, right? So I think it's important for our families to know that we take this COVID pandemic very, very seriously. And we do quite a few things at our schools to protect our children. Michael, could you run through some of the things that we are doing at the schools to make sure that students are safe? And I'm sure, and I know that your nurses, we have nurses in all the schools, and so they play a critical role. So first, what are we doing as a district to support our community, making sure that the children are safe when they come to school? If they don't have masks, we provide them, but to walk our parents so they feel comfortable sending their young people to us, and maybe share what your nurses are doing at the school level to continue to ensure that kids are safe. Because sometimes a kid might start coughing in the classroom and it just may be that they're asthmatic or something. We're all quite nervous sometimes when someone's coughing around us, and it doesn't mean that it's COVID. So, how do you handle all of that?
Great question. And those are some, we want to make sure our parents know that we take this very serious. We follow the New Jersey Department of Health guidelines and the New Jersey Department of Education guidelines. It's called the New Jersey Road Forward. You can Google it. It has a guide of what we should do. Well, number one, just look around, right? Providing the vaccine is a way of keeping the community safe, the school community, as well as our Trenton public community. Also, as you said, if every person in the Trenton Public Schools must have a mask when they're in the building. That's a mandate. We all have a mask when we're in the building. If we're in our private areas, private offices, that's one thing. But when you're out in the hallways, in classrooms, everyone must have a mask. If a child do not have a mask, the school nurse or front office will provide a mask. We increased the hand sanitizer, the hand washing program. They're actually talking to the people. Our nurses are very diligent. If a child is coughing sore throat, fever, stomach ache, any type of feeling of flu-like symptoms, we will send them, call their parent and have them get COVID tested. And that is, again, guidance from the New Jersey Department of Health. And I believe that's why our numbers are so low, because the teachers and the nurses are very diligent in sending those students to the nurse. I also want to give a shout out to our parents and our families, because a lot of them they don't send them to school. That's key. So it is definitely a partnership with our families when they don't send them to school, but also with our nurses being advocates and doing a great assessment job and getting those kids tested. Again, we advocate for hand washing. We advocate everyone must wear a mask. That's not an option. And doing things like this, getting vaccinations, providing it to the community free of charge. So those are some of the ways that we are increasing our efforts.
We have a question from Facebook from Shakira Abdullah Ali. Is there a way to know whether or not, or what to know how many students are getting vaccinated? Do we have that information? Is somebody keeping track of that?
So we're working on that. Great question, Shakira, my longtime friend. We are working on that information. As you know, when someone is vaccinated, it goes into a portal, into the state registry. So we haven't gotten it all together just yet, but we are planning on working on that. There's something called the New Jersey immunization information that all our school nurses have access to. So again, that's something that we are working on, getting that information, because once we log into a student on that registry, we can see what immunizations they have received, including the COVID vaccine. So we're working on that, getting a comprehensive list.
Micah, I heard that they were giving gift cards at one of the sites. What's all that about?
Yeah, listen, I found that out yesterday at Kilmer. Mm-hmm. So the Trenton Health team, who's our partner, who's our biggest partner in this, they're able to, they are providing $25 gift cards as of yesterday, today, to everyone who receives a vaccination, including students. So if it's a family of three, all three of them who gets vaccinated will get 3 gift cards. I just found that out yesterday. And that's an asset to the Trenton Health team.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Good to know. Good to know. Micah, I don't know if you wanted to share a little bit about the work on the school-based youth clinics that are kind of in the works with Henry J. Austin. I know that you've been working really hard with that team from Henry J. Austin, and what that will look like for the future, because that is also going to be something that's really important to help combat, not only the COVID-19, but other health concerns that our students and families may have.
Yes, thank you for reminding me of that. That's a big project that we've been trying to take on since about 2019, right before COVID hit, where we had to take a stop in it. But so one of the things that we found out over the years, that we have students who don't have health insurance. We have students who are in transition of health insurance, and therefore they are lacking their physicals, which is a mandate, and they're also lacking immunizations, which are regular school immunizations, which are a mandate. We get audited by the health department, and when our records show that students are lacking, the school is at risk, our students are at risk. So we want to make sure we're at least being a voice for those students. So with that, we teamed up with the Henry J. Austin. They have a mobile van, which is a clinic in a van. And what we did was, in 2019, we were able to service over 250 students to get physicals and immunizations, and if they need vision checks or dental checks, some behavioral checks. we were able to service those, or I'm sorry, they were able to service those students. So we wanted to continue that. And we are going to be launching that pretty soon this month. Yep, this month too. Hello, I am. one second, sweetie. We were able to, I lost my train of thought. We were able to launch to have this service for this school year. So 2 days a week, starting next week, we're going to be at PJ Hill and we're going to be at Gregory. I'm sorry, they're going to be at PJ Hill and Gregory. More information will come out. So again, it will be from 10 to 2. We want to, parents will have to do a consent, and the nurses have identified students who needed those services, and we are going to work with our parents, work with the Henry J. Austin, so the kids do not have to leave school. They'll be able to get seen, get whatever mandates they need, and they can go right back to class with the consent of the parent. So that is going to be huge, 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 where the parent do not have to take, well, the student do not have to leave school to go to a doctor's office. They can get the services right in the school parking lot in that mobile van, and then they can go back to class. So I'm excited that we're able to bring that back for our students.
When you say services on this van, like what can they get certain shots that they may still be lacking besides just COVID? But all our students need to have certain immunizations, right? So will they be able to get those on site?
Absolutely, yes. So to clarify, our nurses are the ones who identify the students who may need the school mandated vaccinations, right? Because that's what we mean. School mandated vaccinations, like your meningitis, your hepatitis, your Tdap, your pertussis, your
Chickenpox?
MMR, chickenpox. There's quite a few that students need. Kindergarten shots. Kindergarten need a whole bunch of shots. Fifth grade need the meningitis and the Tdap. A few of our ninth graders, high schoolers may need Tdap. So this is going to be an excellent way that they can get those mandated shots and also physicals. Some of our students have play sports. They're able to get sports physicals. Some of our students are in cosmetology. They have to get physicals. Some of our students are in certified nurses aid, a CNA program. They have to get some screenings for their program. So we were able to provide that kind of service. And then they also provide behavioral services too. So we have some students with some challenges. They can assess them and then provide them some resources to help those students also. So it's like comprehensive.
That's wonderful. So the van will be at PJ Hill and Gregory, but you don't have to be a student of Gregory to partake, right? You could be a high school student that will go there and get the services they need. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, and thank you for clarifying. So just to be clear, the parent must accompany the student. So we don't want students think, they can just leave the school and get service. No, the parent, because it has to be a parent consent. It's just like going to the doctors, right? You have to have a parent consent, but it's opened up. They're going to be in those 2 locations, but it's open up to all of our students.
Okay.
Yes.
And just to clarify, this service is 100% free, whether the student has insurance or not, correct, Micah? Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. So I'm sure once Micah has the flyer available, we will be able to share that here on Facebook and also on our school website. Very exciting news.
Denise, I understand we had some serious fires, some emergencies that happened over the weekend here in our community. Could you maybe take us through some of what's been happening, and how does the Office of School Support, your office, how do you support these families?
So yeah, unfortunately, there were quite a few house fires the past few weeks, and Typically what will happen is the Red Cross is contacted on the scene, obviously the fire department, and they provide monetary support for the family to be put up in a hotel. So where the school support steps in is we'll support with continuing educational services, supporting with clothing, food, connecting to other counseling services if the family needs that, and also housing referrals. So with a few families last week, we did help with emergency placement. We worked with the City of Trenton's Social Service Department with Miss Ruth Carter, and we were able to put some families up in hotels. And then just communicating with the school, we were able to put a few of those children like through virtual instruction just temporarily so that they can not miss any school until they're settled, because that event is extremely traumatic, and we want to make sure that our students are able to fully be engaged and take their time in doing so after something like that happens. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really important for our families to know that the Trenton Public Schools goes above and beyond just what the classroom setting. We're a community, right? And so we provide supports to our communities when needed. So a fire happened, something happens in the community. How do you know about it, Denise? How are you, how do parents connect with you?
Oh, I'm like alerted from different angles. So I'll either get a call from the City of Trenton, or I'll get a call from the school principal or a parent liaison. I've been contacted by a nurse. Everybody has my cell phone number. I'm always available after hours and on the weekend for these families, just to have a listening ear, to provide support. And then what I do is I try to help them with their immediate needs, essential items, clothing, food. And then the school will do, a collection, and then I'll try to do an extra collection, because I can't imagine losing everything. Thank God, these children are safe. Thank God our parents are safe and nobody got hurt. So that's number one. But then, we're human. So to only be able to walk out with the clothes that you have on, one mom, she only had slippers on. So thank goodness, because of past supports, I had a pair of sneakers in the closet that I was able to provide to her. And that was thanks to Soles for Shoes. And just, there's so many wonderful partners. Shine and Inspire has been amazing with providing items to our pantry closet. We work with so many organizations. Princeton Area Community Foundation has been fantastic in helping and supporting our families. Arm in Arm, Mercer Street Friends. I mean, too many to name, so I don't want to offend anybody, but we have such a strong community partnership with so many organizations. And, when things like this happen, people just want to support. People want to either, provide clothing, blankets. I mean, I try to help. So when these things happen, sometimes when you're asking a parent, well, what is it that you need? You're still in a state of shock. So I kind of help them walk through some of the items that they need to recover. Towels, washcloths, blankets, if people have old travel bags, because we don't think about that. Like, how are we going to store all these things? Containers, non-perishable food. So there's just a lot that we kind of like walk through in our conversation. And then, mental health is always a conversation that I have, like, do you feel that you need counseling? And then also the Red Cross offers that support as well, and also the City of Trenton. So it's just like a triangular effect of just trying to wrap our arms around our families and support them as much as possible. And we can't do this alone. The schools have been fantastic in supporting our families, the nursing department, parent liaisons, I mean, everybody has their hand in supporting these families, and everyone has been doing a tremendous job in just trying to do anything that they can to help these families. So I'm grateful and I'm humbled to be able to be a part of this system because, gosh, we're all always one step away of homelessness. You just never know what could happen, a natural disaster, a house fire. Lead is a huge issue in our city. So if the city of Trenton comes in and they abate you from your home, like you just never know. So I just think having an open heart and being compassionate and empathetic for these families, it just helps to support our families.
We were fortunate to have all these supports in the Trenton Public Schools. And Denise doesn't say this, but Denise is a certified social worker. So she also provides that kind of support to parents, not just services like clothing and whatnot, but also takes time to listen to them, to guide them, and to provide the kind of supports they need. Denise, I was just looking at a flyer that I just recently received, and you've been working with this. They talk about the rental assistance that's going to end December 15th.
Mm-hmm.
So our parents have the opportunity, if they're being evicted or if they're behind on rent, to be able to participate in a what's it called?
ERAP application.
Yes.
It's available for families that are behind on rent. They just have to submit an online application, and we have been advertising it on social media.
Right.
And I will add that flyer again, and I will let our communications officer so that she can share it out to onto the school website as well. So basically there's funding available. It's just like when the school district gets extra funding, the federal government gets extra funding. And then when they do, they open up these applications and families can submit to receive support on back rent to avoid eviction.
And what's important for the community to know is sometimes it's difficult, right? Our parents may not even have the access to a computer, or everything is online. Please know that all you have to do is reach out to us, right? Reach out to Denise, reach out to our office, and come in. We'll schedule a time for you to come in, and we'll help you with the application. You don't have to do that by yourself. If you're interested and you think that you might be evicted because you're behind on rent and you need some support, you don't know where to turn, come to 108 North Clinton. That's our central office. And tell the guard that you need to speak to Wilfredo Ortiz, the Office of School Support, or to Denise Crease. And we're here to support you. We'll walk you through the process. We will help you. We have the computers. So don't feel like you're out there by yourselves, okay? This is what's really critical, that you start using the services that the district provides for you. We're here in person to meet with you, right? And if for some reason you come in and Denise is not here, all you do is fill out a brief form with the telephone number, and we get back to you within 24 hours.
Absolutely.
So I just thought that was important.
Absolutely. And we have a new program manager of community and family outreach. Her name is Brenda Diaz. And she has been helping already with these applications and with any emergency housing vouchers that are available. And this is the work that we're doing on a daily basis. So like Mr. Ortiz said, don't be shy. I know that when you're reaching out for help, it's hard, but we're here to listen and to take our time and be patient with all of you. So, if you have any questions, I will leave my information on the Facebook page. You can call me or directly email me, and I will certainly get back to you. Are there any other school updates that you wanted to share, Ms. Ortiz?
I think that to me, there's a couple of little things, but there's this December 15th, which is next week, next Wednesday. I think we've been so frustrated with COVID and we can't share good times, right? So I think it's nice to know that the Capital Area YMCA is having a Christmas of activities festival, if you will, from 6:30 to 8:30 next Wednesday, from 6:30 to 8:30. Next Wednesday, there'll be photos with Santa Claus, holiday music, crafts, refreshments. They're doing giveaways. And that's the Capital Area YMCA. And they're located at 431 Pennington Avenue. So I think sometimes we need to try to take advantage of all those fun things that are out there as well. But if Micah says to you earlier, be safe. Make sure that when you go there, you have a mask, you do social distance, you don't go if you're feeling sick, right, Micah? So follow all the COVID precautions, if you will, and have a good time. Okay.
Absolutely. We have another question on Facebook from our returning listener, Miss D. Jones. Thank you for always listening. I, as a parent, don't feel comfortable with our children being seen at school instead of their family doctor. So, Michael, what do you think about that?
Thank you for reading that. I saw that, and I want to make sure that we're able to address that. So I agree. If your child has their own doctor, go to your own doctor. We're not replacing physicians. This is for our students who don't have a doctor. We have a lot of students who do not have health insurance. That means they don't have a doctor, or they're paying out of pocket. We're working with Henry J. Austin to make sure that they are applying for insurance, health insurance. But this is just to make sure that we're in compliance. We want to make sure our students are healthy. So we need to provide them with resources. And this is our way of providing them with resources. So it's not for every child. We're not replacing doctors. We're not replacing your own healthcare provider. It's not for that student. It's for students who do not have the access. And that's what it's about. It's about providing access because we want them to stay in school. If not, they won't be able to stay in school. So we want them to stay in school. Thank you.
Thanks, Micah. Yeah, that was really important information that you shared. So you heard it for yourselves. This information and this clinic that's being ran by Henry J. Austin is for students that don't have insurance and don't have a family doctor. I also wanted to bring up our Parent Connection educational series is coming to a close this week. Tomorrow is our last day, and we're so excited to celebrate some of our parents that have completed the program. And we have built such a strong relationship in talking about just parents' guides to student success. We were able to do different icebreaker activities. We invited guests. They were able to get gift cards for participating. We talked about communication and communicating better with children. We talked about strengthening school relationships between teacher and home. We even had a health demo completed by Airmark last week. We talked about health and nutrition. We talked about stress. We just talked about, when Thanksgiving passed, we talked about what we were grateful for. And, parents were crying and laughing, and it's just gonna be such a great celebration that we have tomorrow. And we're looking forward to doing our vision boards. And I'm sure these parents are going to want to continue to meet. So we'll probably in the spring look to meet again with this group. And then we're going to start our Spanish speaking group in January. And that's going to be facilitated by Miss Brenda Diaz. And it's pretty much going to be a similar group, a 6 consecutive week series, and childcare will be provided for those parents, and food will be available as well.
How do you get involved with that?
I just want to interrupt you guys. They are giving out the $25 gift cards to those who have got their COVID shot. They're giving it to students, adults. I think this is phenomenal that you're able to, especially during the holiday season. I'm sorry, I just wanted to share that.
No, thank you for sharing.
Yes,
That's
that's
awesome to see that live and in action. So thank you, Trenton Health Team, for supporting this health initiative. So just jumping back to the parent education series and how parents got involved, there was a sign-up form. There was flyers that were posted on social media and onto the school website. It's actually on the homepage, and word of mouth, of course. So so happy that Mr. Trueheart is able to make it, and I'm not sure if he wanted to share some information in regards to any community updates. So that's how parents get involved, is by sign up, word of mouth. They were able to walk in and
it took place right here at central office, right?
yeah,
And we had dinner for them. I remember going to one and seeing kids running around and having a lot of fun and a lot of nice activities. So I think it's important that the community know that we have a lot of different activities that will help them. And so are we doing the Parent Connect will start again, you said in
January.
next semester, will be in January?
Yep.
Okay, so let's make sure that you sign up for those workshops, because that's what's going to help you help your children to become great students. And we want you and need you to participate in these workshops. And they are really, really great ones, because I was able to attend one and I really enjoyed what we saw there.
Absolutely. And they also participated in a parent engagement survey. So they were able to provide their feedback on our 5 strategic goals, which is like student achievement, whole child, facilities. And they just were able to, we were able to have a conversation about just climate and culture in the school. So it's a fun time. You come as you are, and you're able to have childcare and food. So we definitely encourage parents to participate and join. I'm not sure if Mr. Trueheart dropped off again. But yeah, fun times. So for that information for the Parent Connection educational series, we will provide updates on that. And what's great also about these groups is parents also have the ability to select the topic that they want to discuss. So if you want to talk about career readiness, that's something that we can do within the group and work on resumes and job skills. And then what's awesome is that some of these parents, they come and they volunteer and they extend their time, and they are helping to wrap some Christmas presents right now and help organize some of the things in our pantry closet here at central office. So very good. So I don't know if Mr. Trueheart is going to jump back in. I don't know if you have any final thoughts, Micah or Mr. Ortiz, so that we can close this out.
Just as to summarize, I think Micah needs to, I want to thank Micah Freeman and her entire team, as I want to thank you for all the work that you do with our students, our families. And we are doing this. Give us the dates again, the locations, so that our parents can take advantage of the testing and the services that are being provided through this initiative that you are helping to spearhead, Micah.
So yeah, again, I am live at Rivera Middle School, where they are providing COVID vaccines. They're also providing $25 gift cards to everyone, students included, everyone who gets the vaccine from the Trenton Health Team. Again, it's Monday at Kilmer from 4 to 7. It's Tuesday at Rivera from 4 to 7. And then it's tomorrow, Wednesdays, at Trenton High from 4 to 7. This is going to be for the rest of the month. So I would, it's a great opportunity for our families, it's for our school community to get vaccinated. And again, we just have to keep reminding ourselves to remain healthy, vigilant. If we're sick or not feeling good, stay home, get tested, and then we're going to suggest get vaccinated.
Thank you, Micah. Mr. Trueheart, right?
Hey, how
Just
you
joined
guys? How
us.
you guys doing? My
Welcome.
goodness, what a great
Welcome.
program you're having tonight. Just love Micah Freeman being on board with us tonight. Mr. Ortiz, Denise Crease also doing an awesome job. Just one thing I wanted to share, of course, I'm getting my booster real soon. I've done Moderna. I have my 2 shots already. I'm vaccinated, but I'll be getting my booster sometime this week. I think I'm going to go over to Trenton High tomorrow, I believe.
Tomorrow, yeah.
4 to 6 tomorrow, right?
Right. Yes, tomorrow.
I'll go and I'll get my booster. I'll get my card. I'm going on vacation, so I want to be fully vaccinated and boosted
Correct.
and tested before Christmas, before the holiday. So Trenton Public Schools are providing an awesome service to our community, to all of our families, and to our students. Thank you, Micah, for all that you're doing. You know, Alfredo and Denise, one thing I wanted to share also is we're going to have the superintendent on next couple of weeks on our redistricting plan for the district. And so I wanted to make that announcement today also, that next week and prayerfully the week after our board meeting and before Christmas, our superintendent, as well as our assistant superintendent, Mr. Ortiz, and others, Denise Crease, our co-host, will be on to discuss the redistricting plan, as well as our board president, Aggie Daniels Lane. So I wanted to make that announcement to kind of give folks a teaser to come on board and potentially ask questions. We've been all around the district, right, Mr. Ortiz? You've been
Yes, we have.
town halls and everything. Where have the town halls been?
We've had, the first one was took place at Martin Luther King, where we had over 300 parents. We also had one at Kilmer. Joyce Kilmer was the recent one that we just had recently. We also had another one. For some reason, the place is escaping me. But we did have.
You said Kilmer, Dunn, MLK.
Oh, Dunn. I'm sorry. We had one at Dunn School on the south end of the city. We've had it on radio on this program. The superintendent has been here to explain, and we take information from the community. We actually listen to what they're saying, and if we can tweak and adjust the reorganization, the redistricting piece, then we will take that information and we do what we can to make it better. It's something that we consistently work at. And we have made some changes, and it's important that the community knows. So I wish they would join us. Please join us next week, because you'll get some important information that I think that we want everyone to know and participate.
And the town halls, we've completed our round of town halls so far, in-person town halls so far. And it is also, of course, it's on our YouTube page. It's been recorded in Spanish and translated into Spanish, and of course, in English. So we're finished with our community conversation part, at least our initial community conversation around the redistricting plan. The board will be on the board agenda for final approval on December 20th. And then next week we'll have, of course, Superintendent James on, and you as well, and others, to discuss the redistricting plan. But I want you guys to know also, it's been on Peterson's Breaking News with host Crystal Feliciano, over 1,000 views. So we've gotten it out to the community. So if you haven't heard about our redistricting plan, it's been televised via TV, radio, Peterson's Breaking News, in person in various schools around our district. So we're very happy with the work that's been done. It also is 2 years in the making. This is not something new. We've been sharing and communicating about the redistricting plan for the last 2 years, because we postponed it. It was supposed to be, or at least proposed to be, this year's for this year, current year we're in. But the board decided we want to give it more time, more planning, so that we could do it decent and in order, and make sure that our community is involved with the decisions that we're making in our district. So was postponed or planned for our 22-23 school year.
22-23.
So I wanted to make that quick note. Yes, Mr. Ortiz. Denise, I heard your good news about your Parent Connect. That I'm sorry, oh my goodness, you're ending tomorrow, but I know you're going to start your Spanish session soon, and I think we're looking forward to starting off fresh next year in 2022 with more Parent Connect.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I do want to put one more plug. So school support has been doing a collection for some of our displaced families in hotels. There's still time if you would like to participate in giving to give. So I will drop that link in to the Facebook website and also into the chat here for those that are interested in giving. You can sponsor a child or a parent and provide a gift, and so that they can have a great holiday season. Thank you. It's our virtual giving tree.
Isn't that something? This is not the first time you've done that, Denise. You've done this is probably, I don't know how many years, third, fourth year that you've done this, where you've had the sponsorships and the gifts.
This is the fourth year. I've done it a little bit different every year, and COVID made me like rethink how to get participants. So we did like a virtual sign up so that, you know, people could feel comfortable donating and giving. So whether they wanted to mail the gifts to the Board of Education building or they wanted to do a drop off, they had that option. People also have the option to email gift cards to parents. So yeah, so that's how we were able to do it.
Excellent, excellent work, excellent work.
That's
What else you have for us, Denise?
Well, yeah, just if you want to give, you can give. Sorry for the background noise. I'm home right now. And what else is going on? Oh, we want to say thank you to Target. We just got a $500 gift card today, and we're just so excited, and we're going to provide it to one of our house fire victims. So thank you, Target. Thank you, JFC, for your donation today. They also are helping with food. So they provided us with 6 bags of food for our displaced families and toys. So thank you, thank you, thank you to those organizations. Shiloh Baptist Church, thank you. They will also be contributing to delivering, well, Airmark is going to work with us to deliver groceries to our families that are in hotels that can't often get to us, you know, to any of the feeding sites right away that the city of Trenton offers. And thank you to Shine and Inspire for your contributions, for always helping our families. They had a holiday party on Sunday. I was able to participate, and we were able to select 78 children that received gifts and were able to participate in arts and crafts. And there was a caricature person, there was a station for cookie making. So thank you, Shine and Inspire, for just going above and beyond and giving for our families and always supporting our pantry closet here at Trenton Public Schools.
You know, Denise, I think we had a conversation about Shine and Inspire. You sent me that great video. It was like an intro video to the work that they're doing, not only in the district, but in other areas, in other communities. And we wanted to share the great news with our community by having, I believe, the president or the founder come on and share in one of our broadcasts, possibly in January or February.
Yes, the CEO is Carol Feldman, and she's fantastic, and she is always over the top. She loves purple. She has purple hair. She just loves to give, and she helps not only Trenton Public Schools, but all throughout Mercer County. And we were able to get featured on a TV station called Why You Ought to Know. So they highlighted Shine and Inspire, and they actually videoed our pantry closet. They interviewed 2 of our parents, and they were able to speak on how they were inspired to pay it forward. So with the work that I do with Shine and Inspire, we pay it forward. We try to find ways that parents can give back, whether it's volunteering or telling parents about programs in the schools or letting them know, hey, we want you to be involved in school. That's how we think of ways to pay it forward in the community. So we thank again. I will share that video here in the Facebook feed, and also I will continue to share that video with our communications officer so she can share that out as well.
Can we share that, Mr. Trueheart, at a board meeting?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I think
No
we should
doubt
have it
about
at the
it.
board meeting. So let's talk about that so we can see it, because I'm really excited to see that.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Me likewise. Me too. The word. I'm gonna use some word now. It says the word says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So our light is shining brightly through the work of Denise Crease and Mr. Wilfredo Ortiz, Micah Freeman, and James Earl, and Addie Lane, and Yolanda, and all the folks in the district. I mean, folks need to understand. I think they do now with all the TV and radio and Peterson's Breaking News and all the communications that we're doing in our community, our website being updated, our COVID update site with our dashboard, and many other updates that are coming through our communications officer, Morgan Glennon. And we're so happy about the work that's being done. Our light is being shined brightly. Folks are beginning to notice that we are doing the work that's required of us in our communities and for our children and for our families. And so for that, I want to thank all of you for being part of this broadcast and part of our district and continuing to do the work that's required of us to support our families and our students, both academically, socially, emotionally, in every area of their life. It's so very important. Denise?
Thank you.
Yeah, I think just thank you, community. Thank you to our faithful listeners. Thank you for continuing to just be present and just continuing to give from our hearts. And we are just here to serve all of you, and anything that we can do to make things better, that's what we're here for. So that's all I have for today. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night.